Okay, so the Eagles just got some game-changing news ahead of their matchup with the Commanders, as one of their biggest stars looks set to make his return this week, which no doubt gives a massive boost to the offense and makes the Eagles even scarier. Meanwhile, Cooper DeJean has been doing the unthinkable as the lockdown rookie corner continues to improve, and his performance versus CeeDee Lamb and the Cowboys this past week has put the NFL even more on notice. Plus, Nick Sirianni and the Eagles are cramming to prepare for the Commanders on Thursday night, and it seems like the Birds could have a slight advantage, so we're going to talk about that and all the other latest Eagles news starting right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan, and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles. And I think it's safe to say that the vibes are pretty high right now after the Birds just got their 5th straight win in blowout fashion versus the hated Cowboys, and you can clearly see that everybody just seems to be having fun. And that's on full display in multiple videos that the Eagles social media team just released from the locker room after the win.
Come on, Reed! Get it, Reed! Come on, Reed! Yes! Go! Hey!
Man, you gotta love this. I mean, first off, Jordan Davis dancing will always be hilarious, and the team hyping him up just makes it even better. But overall, it's just awesome that this team is having as much fun as they're having right now, because that's just always a good sign, right, for the team chemistry and just for the state of how things are going. I mean, look at the 2 years that the Eagles went to the Super Bowl in recent history. Both those teams were clearly having a ton of fun and had great chemistry within the locker room, and this feels reminiscent of that to me, especially when you combine it with just how dominant they've looked in recent weeks. And probably my favorite video that the Eagles social media team dropped is this mic'd up clip of CJ Gardner-Johnson singing about Cooper DeJean to the tune of Billie Jean.
Cooper DeJean, cornerback one, yeah. He locked down your number one option, yeah. Cooper DeJean, punt return. Cooper DeJean almost cripped the punt return. Cooper DeJean be locking down your slot. You throw it his way, no go.
So I love this for multiple reasons, one being that there's already a song about Cooper DeJean to the tune of Billie Jean floating around on social media, so I feel like this is definitely in reference to that. But again, this is just another example of the team having fun and clearly having great chemistry, and CD is also right in what he's singing, that DeJean will lock down the slot and the team's #1 receiver. And this past week against Cowboys star receiver CeeDee Lamb, he did a pretty great job when he was matched up against him, and he seemed to have a similar assessment.
Yeah, he's a great player, great receiver. I thought I did all right. There's obviously some plays that I want back, but I think we worked well together as a defense. Just to try to contain him. We know he's gonna get catches. It's just about tackling him after when he gets the ball.
I love how confident yet humble Coop clearly is, and that's surely one of the things that has helped him to have as much success as he's had since becoming the starter. I mean, in this game specifically, he allowed just 3 catches on 5 targets for 11 yards, and he's currently the 2nd highest graded corner in the entire NFL. And I really don't expect any sort of drop-off. In fact, I would only expect him to get better, and as time goes on, it just gets crazier and crazier to me that the Birds somehow got this guy in the 2nd round, as he's come in and made an immediate impact. And he's really just continued to get better and better as the weeks have gone on, and he's made the Eagles much better as well. And now, of course, this week, the Eagles will face the team that allowed them to get Coop in the Washington Commanders, as I'm sure you all remember that it was a draft day trade with Washington that allowed the Birds to land the standout corner. So hopefully he's able to continue to have success this week against Terry McLaurin and those Washington receivers. And speaking of this matchup with the Commanders, this is probably the biggest game of the Eagles season so far, as on Sunday, the Birds took over the division lead from Washington after they took a close loss to the Steelers, and an Eagles win this week at home could put them firmly in the driver's seat of this division down the stretch run. But a loss would set them back in the standings, as they would fall back down to 2nd, and it would make the Week 16 matchup in Washington a must-win. So safe to say this is going to be a huge game that has some major implications, and it's made even more of a challenge just due to the fact that this is a Thursday night game. So both teams have a lot less time to prepare for this matchup than they typically would. And on Monday, Nick Sirianni talked about the challenges that the short week presents, and specifically the drastic changes to their preparation.
Yeah, it's obviously drastic. I mean, you'd say whatever, let's say a 100-hour work week. and now you got to do it in 4 days, because you can't be like, oh, I'm going to skip this week, or I'm going to skip that this week. It's all the same amount of work has to be put in. Everything gets crammed into a shorter amount of time, and so that's what we're working through right now. Is I think a lot of guys will have big bags under their eyes at the end of the week, but we got to do what we need to do as coaches to get the guys ready. What's important is that the players are ready to go, that they're rested, as much as they possibly can be. And like I said, it doesn't matter how our coaches feel. We just got to get the work done and get these guys prepared.
It is certainly a huge adjustment to cut down what is already an extremely busy work week filled with preparation from 6 days to pretty much 3 days before game day, and the coaches surely have their work cut out for them just to cram everything in. But based on what Nick Sirianni said there, him and the rest of the coaches seem to be fully locked in and embracing the challenge, and I feel like you can say what you want about Sirianni, but there is no doubt in my mind that he's going to be working extra hard this week along with the rest of the coaches to get this team ready, and hopefully all their hard work pays off with a win. And going into the matchup, the Eagles players specifically may actually have an edge over the Commanders players, as opposed to the hard-fought down-to-the-wire battle that Washington was locked in this past week. The Eagles obviously won in a blowout, and they actually got to rest their starters for most of the fourth quarter on Sunday and kind of preserve them a little bit ahead of this Thursday night game, which is something that multiple Eagles players said that could wind up being really important.
Yeah, most of the starters sit out by the fourth quarter. I ain't did that since college. Yeah.
Is that good with a short week coming up?
For sure. Everybody in the NFL who have played a Thursday night football game know how fast it comes around after this Sunday. So recovery starts now.
Yeah, that's big. I think we have a lift tomorrow, and then we'll be, right back at it. So breaking out Washington, which is, is a dangerous team. It's competitive. It's going to be a competitive game next week. I've been watching them. They're very dangerous, very talented, and a very good team.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at the schedule what it's going to be this week, but I know the mental reps for sure are just going to be big this week. Dudes just got to take care of their body, get in the trainer room, do whatever they need to do to make sure they're fresh and fast, ready to go for Thursday.
I definitely do agree that it's huge for the guys to have gotten this rest ahead of this matchup with the Commanders, because obviously the quick turnaround provides a huge challenge for the coaches to get prepared in half the time of normal week, but it also provides a huge challenge for the players, not just mentally, but also obviously physically, as they have far less time to recover their bodies from the previous game. So that rest that they got at the end of this past game should hopefully just give them a little bit of an edge as they go into this game. And also, some recent massive news that the Eagles just got to begin the week could give them another edge heading into this game as well. And don't worry, we're going to get into that and so much more in just a minute, but real quick, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and you don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the rest of this entire season, then make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss any of the Eagles coverage I got coming on this channel. I cover the Birds pretty much daily here, so if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Eagles news, this is the spot. So again, subscribe and turn on notifications, and also drop a like. Let's see if we can get to 600 likes today. Now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. So just after the Eagles beat the Cowboys, they got some major news that no doubt changes this game against the Commanders and also makes the Eagles offense much better moving forward. As on Monday, the Birds announced that they had officially opened left tackle Jordan Mailata's 21-day practice window as he looks set to return from IR. As of course, Mailata has been out ever since he suffered a hamstring injury in the Birds' win over the Browns back in Week 6, and it's been Fred Johnson filling in at left tackle ever since. And I think Fred does deserve some credit, as he's done a solid job in that position, and he's been really good at times. But that being said, he is no Jordan Mailata, and he did have his struggles as well. So to get Mailata back, no doubt provides a huge boost to this Eagles team and offense, as he's one of the best tackles and offensive linemen in the entire NFL, and he was having a truly dominant season right before he got hurt. So he should be able to come back in and pick up right where he left off and give a big boost to the Birds O-line in pass protection and also the run game. However, just because his window has been activated, that doesn't mean that he's necessarily 100% going to return this week. So Nick Sirianni was then naturally asked about the chances of Mailata making his return to action on Monday, and this is what he said.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this week goes of putting him in positions to see if he can do some things. Obviously we'll have to be creative there, knowing that we will be doing walkthroughs. There's some different things we'll do later in the week that will be a little bit more than walkthrough to help with that as well, to get their bodies going. So we'll have to be creative with that with Jordan. I think one thing that will be, even though we're doing walkthroughs, we'll still have some individual periods at times you know, to get the guys going. Again, just so their bodies are moving. So those will be opportunities for him to do that. But like I said, we'll see where he is by the end of the week. We don't have to make a decision now. We have time. Excited that he has the possibility to be back. But, you know, again, Fred's done a nice job. And we'll play it by ear. If Jordan's not ready, he won't go. If he's ready, he'll go. So we'll see where we are at the end of the week.
Honestly, this is really no surprise from Coach, as he's always really vague when talking about injuries because he never wants to give too much information away to the other team, but I do think, like he alluded to, that the shortened week does potentially change some things and they might have to get a little bit creative with the ways that they can find out if he's ready to go or not. And the good news is that on Monday, Mailata was listed as a full participant on the injury report, so although they didn't have a full practice, I definitely say that it is a really positive sign for Mailata's chances to play on Thursday, but we'll just have to wait on more information today and also tomorrow to get a better idea of whether he will play or not. But now, getting into some more Eagles injury news, 4 birds were listed as out on Monday's injury report, and all 4 are very crucial players. Starting with linebacker Nakobe Dean, who did not participate, as he's apparently dealing with a groin injury, so that's definitely not great to hear. And also, Dallas Goedert was out with an ankle injury, so that's also definitely not what you want to hear just after he came back from a hamstring injury this past week that had kept him out for several weeks prior. And then you have Darius Slay, who continues to be banged up this season, as he was sitting out with an ankle issue that he clearly suffered early in the Eagles game against the Cowboys. And then DeVonta Smith also missed practice as well with a hamstring injury, which if you'll remember back to last week, Smitty's hammy was bothering him then and it put his status for the Cowboys game in question, but he did end up playing, so we'll see if this winds up being a similar situation. And really, for all these injuries, you just gotta wonder how much of them being listed as out is kind of a precautionary thing and an attempt to keep them well rested before this game on a short week. But again, we'll surely get much more information later today and also tomorrow. And you guys already know that I'm going to be continuing to cover everything leading into that matchup, so again, if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. And also, again, while you're at it, make sure you drop a like to show some support. If you did enjoy this video, I would greatly appreciate it because it really does help me out a ton. Again, let's see if we can get to 600 likes today. And also, leave a comment down below just regarding anything else that I talked about in this video. And if you want to watch another Eagles video going over the Eagles' dominant win over the Cowboys, you can check this out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.